And welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I just wanted to sit down and have a little chat before these videos start coming out. I'm not sure if I want to make this a separate video or if this will just be the beginning of this very long travel video. Not entirely sure, but I just wanted to sit down and kind of talk about all of this and explain what I'm doing, because I haven't talked about it at all in my previous vlog. I just hinted at where I'm going, which was kind of obvious because I said it's like the country that has really good sushi. It's obviously it's Japan. I'm going to Japan. It's crazy. Like, Japan has been my dream destination forever. Like, I remember in high school I took Japanese lessons because I wanted to move to Japan and become an English teacher there. Still might be the dream, but I do know more about the working culture in Asian countries, especially when it comes to teachers. So I'm a bit hesitant to work in Asian countries, specifically like China, Korea, Japan, just because of that. But who knows, maybe one day. But I'm actually not only visiting Japan. I know, it's crazy. I'm doing an Asia tour. Not really, it's just 2 countries. So I'm going to Japan from the 26th of August to the 31st of August. And then directly from Japan, I am flying to Thailand, Bangkok. And I'm gonna be staying there for 2 months to do my third and last internship, practice placement. Not really sure what you call it, but in Swedish it's praktik. So it's my third and last one. I don't think I've ever explained this whole practice placement thing in internship to you guys, but like, long story short, I didn't read a program at my university. I took 3 standalone courses. So for the first 3 years, no, for the first 1.5 year, I read English, so English 1, 2, and 3. When I was done with that, I read the, well, what could that be in English? I'll just have it on the screen here. I don't know what the translation is, but the acronym is KPU. So that's what you read after you read a specific subject, because it's for teachers that only want specified subjects. So if you're taking the program, you have to teach 2 subjects. Here in Sweden, that's like the rule. If you want to become a teacher, you need to have 2 subjects. But if you do it like me, if you take 3 standalone courses and then do the KPU, you only become certified in 1 subject. And for me, that's English. So I took these 3 standalone courses and I've done KPU now for almost 1.5 years. And so it's 3 terms. I needed to think a bit, but I'm pretty sure it's 1.5 years. Bro, I can't remember. I'm like, my head is dead, but I'm pretty sure it was 1.5 years. So it's 3 terms. And for each term, I have an internship at a school here in Sweden, in Stockholm region. You don't know which school you get placed in. It's kind of randomized, and it's also based on where you live, so it should be close to proximity of where you live. So I actually got a school that my older sister, she went to that when she was in high school. That was my biggest concern, the students just being so rude to me because I'm a teacher student. But they were actually so lovely. I had an amazing time. So I was at that school for 2 internships. And now for the 3rd placement, I'm not going back to that school. I'm going to an international school in Thailand, which is crazy. There's so much stuff to see and do and eat, and like, oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. So that's why it's like, I'm nervous because of obviously being a teacher student at a completely new school, in a completely new country for me. Like, so it's both nervousness and excitement. Yay. I'm rambling, but yeah, so First I'm going to Japan for a couple of days, just because, I mean, I'm going to Thailand, I might as well go to Japan as well, because Japan was the first country I really wanted to go to, but none of the schools that I applied to heard back, so the only one that actually contacted me was the school in Thailand, so that's why I'm going to Thailand. But I'm not like sad about it or anything. Love the fact that I'm going to Thailand, but it's just that Japan was my first choice. So a bit disappointed that I'm not going there, but I am still going there on vacation. And that's even better, because then it's like I don't even have to work. I'm just there for holidays. Just do whatever I want. And then real life sets in Thailand and I have to work. But I mean, come on, it's Thailand. I work in Thailand, like... Okay, I'm rambling again, I'm sorry. I'm nervous. Can you tell that I'm nervous? I'm so nervous. But today it's the 22nd. Tomorrow is so exciting. We're seeing Ed Sheeran tomorrow. So exciting. Insert video clip here of Ed Sheeran. No, that's gonna be so exciting. And then on the 25th is when I'm leaving for Japan. It's gonna take 24 hours the whole trip, all in all, so I'll be arriving on the 26th, which is kind of annoying because I lose a whole day. I'll be getting there at 9-10 p.m. so I'll just head straight to the hotel and just die. Like literally just pass out. But yeah, so I thought I'd also explain a bit how I got here. Like, what do you mean you're doing your internship in Thailand? Like, how did that happen? So I'll break it down for you step by step. Not that you would be able to like do the same as me. I mean, if you're a Swedish follower or a Swedish viewer and you're watching this video, then this might help you. Because this is like step-by-step process of everything I had to do and plan and submit and just everything. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you if you also want to do this. Okay, so step one was I sent in an application to my home university, Stockholm University, and it was this form that I had to fill out. It also helped that the previous term I was a part of the buddy program, so I held activities for international students. That gave me a bit of more credit, and I think that's also one of the reasons why they picked me. And you could also fill that out in the form. Like if you're part of something at the school, you would write that in, and I think that will give you more credit when you're applying. I also had to write a letter of like why I should be picked for this, why this will help my studies, and so on and so forth. So I remember I wrote this in October, November, sometime during that time, and I heard back from them in March, February, March, sometime the next year. So it took a long time before I even got accepted. After I got accepted, I had to do an interview, kind of like a language test interview. So it was a person from Stockholm University that invited me into a Zoom meeting, and he just asked me like just normal questions, kind of like where are you going, where will you be doing this internship, for how long, what are you most excited about? Like, it was just basic questions, and I would answer back to him in English, obviously, and based on that he would just see where my English level was kind of at. So it was just like basic questions. You didn't have to prepare anything, but I was super nervous. I was so nervous. I was sweating buckets, and I could just tell that after it was done, I was like, oh my god, there's no way they're gonna pick me after that. Like, it was a disaster. I could answer him, but there were moments where I had to think. And I mean, obviously you have to think. You can't, I mean, even if this whole interview was in Swedish, I would also need time to think. So I don't know why that bothered me so much, but I had to stop and think. And my like Swedish accent also slipped through sometimes, which again is so stupid. Like, of course you're gonna have an accent, you're not from England or America, so it's stupid to think that you would not have an accent. But it really bothered me, and I was like, oh fuck, they're not gonna pick me just because of this. But they did. So the interview didn't automatically mean that I could go. I still had to wait for a reply from Stockholm University. So the guy that interviewed me, he had to contact Stockholm University and say, yeah, I think she is eligible to go and do this internship abroad. Her English level is fine. So he sent that to the school, and then the school talked back to him, and then the school sent something back to me, which was like, okay, we've looked through all of this, everything looks good, we've talked to this like person, the interview was fine, blah blah blah, so everything looks good, we think it's okay that you can go. So I got the clear from them, and from there I had to search up the schools myself. So they didn't help me with anything. I had to, through a website, I can post it up here, I think IBU website or something, where they show every school from like all over the world that's a part of this program. So it lets students do their internship at these specific schools that are part of this IBU program. So you would just go into this website, you would look at the different countries that are part of this program. Let's say, for example, I was interested in Japan. So that was my first pick. So I first go into, I click on Japan, I see, okay, these are the different cities that have schools that are part of this program. Okay, then I think, which city would I most likely want to go to? So let's say Tokyo first. And then they would list all of these different schools that are part of the IBU program that are situated in Tokyo. Now, the thing you had to look out for was also which level the students were at. Let's say, for example, if it was a kindergarten, or if it was elementary school, or if it was high school. And I was obviously looking for if it was, why am I I'm sorry, I was obviously looking for if it was on high school. So I would also limit down my search for just looking at schools that were high schools. And then you just click on that school. You would see a little like information box about the people you could contact for each level. Let's say if you picked the big school that had from kindergarten all the way up to high school, you would click on the information of the person that was in charge of the high school. And there would also be a email address, and you would click on the email address and a form would pop up. So you would write your email address and then a short little message, and you would also start the message with "Dear Miss" or "Dear Mr." obviously, like if you're writing an email. And then you would just say what your name is, why you're applying for this. It was quite short, you didn't have a lot of space, but I just, to make it easy for myself, I just copy pasted this one message, and I just changed the name of the person and the name of the school in each of these messages as I sent them. And I sent a lot of these messages. Like, it wasn't just Japan. I was looking at schools in Taiwan, in Singapore, in Thailand, yeah, I just sent it to a lot of different countries and a lot of schools. But the only school that heard back was the one from Thailand. I like to believe that it wasn't really my fault. It wasn't that they weren't interested, because I mean, that's kind of ridiculous and kind of hurtful that I sent so many requests to so many different schools and only one heard back. I think it's because no one actually uses that system anymore. It's quite outdated, and it was also very weird because I could only send a form on the actual website, so that school had to go into the website, keep track of all the messages they do get, which may or may not be a lot, I'm not sure. Again, I think the system is quite outdated. I did also go into each school's separate homepage, but they didn't give me like any contact information. It was only like phone numbers, but I'm not gonna sit here all the way in Sweden and make phone calls to the other side of the globe. That's gonna cost me a lot of money and they probably won't even answer, and it's like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But they didn't have an email addresses, so I could only rely on the website, which was quite outdated in my honest opinion. And this process also took a long ass time, because first, like as I said, no one replied, and thankfully at the end the school in Thailand heard back. Honestly, like the last few steps was just me, the school in Thailand, and Stockholm University just emailing each other back and forth, just sending a lot of like agreements, things you need to sign. I needed to contact the Bureau of like Finance here in Sweden, CSN. So it was just a lot of waiting, a lot of emailing, a lot of waiting on emails. Everything just took so long. Also went to a meeting with the person in charge at Stockholm University, the person in charge of all of this. It was her and then another person and then two people on Link, because all of us were doing our internships abroad. See, she just had like a PowerPoint presentation and she just went through everything with us, like the whole process, because we had to sign a learning agreement, which was between Stockholm University, yourself, and then the school that you're going to teach at. So we all had to sign this learning agreement, which also took a lot of time, because you had to hand it into this freaking bureau. I don't even know what they're called, I can't remember. And you had to wait for answers and everything, and yeah, that was just not fun. The last and final step is obviously getting a visa, which was also quite stressful for me, because first I didn't know which kind of visa I was applying for, so I needed to contact the Thai embassy here in Stockholm. After I figured that out, I applied for it and everything, and then they wanted a document from me that I didn't have. A letter of acceptance, something like that. I didn't have that. I hadn't received it from the school or from Stockholm University, so I was like, oh shit. So I contacted the school in Thailand. After like a week or so, I got a response and they sent it to me. Thank the Lord, so crisis averted. But then the next annoying thing happened. So I got the visa from the embassy. Everything was fine, but then I saw it said, so it says valid from and then until. So valid from the 4th of August until the 1st of November. I was like, oh shit, because I'm staying until the 3rd of November in Thailand. I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Like, help? I don't want to overstay my visa in a foreign country, possibly having to like pay a lot of money for overstaying my visit. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I have to call back the embassy. I tried one day. There was 2 people in front of me in the line. Mind you, they only open from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, so that's just 3 hours span. I was in line for 3 hours and 30 minutes. I was like, yeah, they're not gonna take my call today. So I called back the next day, and I think I stood in line for like 10 minutes, and then it was my turn. And so they explained to me that from the 4th of August until the 1st of November, I have to enter Thailand. So it's not the validity of the visa. I just have to get into the country between these dates. And once I enter the country, that's when the visa starts like ticking. So that's when I have 90 days. So that's kind of what they explained to me. I was like, oh my god, thank god. So yeah, I resolved that issue. I have my visa. It's valid during my whole stay. No problems there. I also, for the last step, so the last step is both visa and vaccination. So I had to vaccinate myself from, I think it's was, I don't know the medical term, but it was something Japanese, like brain disease or something, and I read that name and I was like, oh my god. And it's also mosquito carried, so I was like, yeah, I'm definitely getting vaccinated from that. So I got for the Japanese brain something something, rabies and typhoid fever. But I was also supposed to get it for the dengue fever, which is apparently also very prevalent in Thailand. And in like in any Asian and African countries. And I'm like, crap. I did not get a shot for dengue fever. And I hope to God that I don't get bit by a mosquito. Yay! So those are the vaccinations I took, which also cost a lot. I think in total I spent around 4,000 crowns, which is like 400 US dollars. About 400 euros, maybe less than 400 euros. During this time I also applied for like, well not applied, I searched for hotels and all of that. And now I'm sitting on TikTok just scrolling like things to do in Thailand, things to do in Japan, places to eat, places to shop, and I'm just saving it all on TikTok. But TikTok is very underrated as a source of information. I really love it. But yeah, I think that was the whole process of me getting to where I am right now and to where I'm going soon. It's literally just 3 days until I leave, which is crazy. I'm so scared, I'm so terrified. But yeah. Help. This is a very long video right now. I've just been rambling so much. My tip is to not freak out. These things take time. Everything works out in the end. That's what I gotta tell you. That's my biggest tip. Everything works out in the end. And trust me, I've been getting punched a lot through this process. Like mentally, physically. Oof, it has been a journey. And I am so mentally drained. It has been a long process, I can tell you as much. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to go to Japan and Thailand, obviously. But yeah, I'll stop talking right now. And if I forgot anything, I'll probably add it later. But for now, that's that. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I'm going to Japan. Which is crazy! T-minus 3 days, oh my gosh. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh, I didn't turn it off. My bad. Bye! Wait, what?